If you had to pick only one narrative, one sector in crypto that you can bet will gain the most retail popularity at the peak of the markets, what would it be? I think the majority of us are going to say one thing: meme coins. Most people still think memes are just a joke, but we now have real theses being built on the sector, and we even have institutions starting to take it seriously. But when it comes to new memes popping up left and right, by the time you hear about it, it's usually too late. The key is not just chasing hype, it's understanding where the next rotation is headed and staying ahead of the crowd. That's why today's video might just be one of the most important videos I've made in a long time. I'm gonna dive into exactly what I'm doing to prepare for the upcoming meme season. But of course, first we need to get an idea of what's going on in the markets. We know that Goldman Sachs is predicting the Federal Reserve will do 3 25-point rate cuts starting from September. That's going to be a huge inflow of liquidity from investors looking for higher returns and riskier assets. Trump also just made a major announcement that's stirring up both politics and markets. In a recent speech, he confirmed that Apple is committing $600 billion towards building manufacturing facilities in the United States. That is a massive move, especially as tensions rise between the United States and China. And if capital starts flowing back into American tech and digital assets, it could light a fire under the tech, AI, and crypto sectors. But China is not slowing down either. They're preparing to approve their first yuan-backed stablecoin, which is honestly something I never thought I would see. This is going to be a direct challenge to US dollar dominance in the stablecoin space and a signal that China is serious about getting its piece of the stablecoin market. Of course, it is too early to tell how things will impact things in the long term, but the fact that China is flipping from allegedly banning crypto to now adopting stablecoins is a good sign. At the same time, we just got a new green light from the SEC clarifying that liquid staking activities are now considered securities. This is a huge relief for projects in the staking sector, and more importantly, it shows that regulators are finally starting to understand the difference between real DeFi innovation and scams. That shift in tone is something the entire market has been waiting for, especially big institutions, and I think it's going to open the door for more capital to flood into the space. And before that happens, it's a good time to make sure your trading setup is strong, and I don't trust just one exchange. I've seen too many outages, bugs, and sketchy situations to keep all my assets in one place. That's why one of my go-to options is Margex. It's been reliable when things get volatile, and timing really matters. I've partnered with them to offer you guys a 20% deposit bonus using the code FireHustle, and it's only available for a limited time. The link is down below if you want to take advantage of it. Now back to the video. So we know that things are heating up, but when we're tracking how meme coins are doing, there are a few key metrics to keep an eye on. First, we have Google Trends and social volume. Even during a choppy market, search volume for terms like Bitcoin and Ethereum is staying surprisingly strong on Twitter. Not just that, but Google Trends shows that interest in terms like meme coins is actually creeping up again. This is usually how it starts, with quiet buzz, small rallies, and then suddenly everything pops off. That's why keeping an eye on these trends is so important when trying to stay ahead of the crowd. And the next thing to watch is open interest. This is the total value of all open futures and perpetual contracts for altcoins that have not yet been closed or settled. In simple terms, it tells you how much capital is currently tied up in leverage across exchanges for a given altcoin or sector. Meme coins often follow big inflows of leveraged capital. When traders start betting big with leverage on small caps, meme coins are usually the first to react. Check out this chart that shows open interest on the meme coin sector from Coinalyze. Meme coins are sitting at roughly $4.1 billion in open interest, which is up more than 8% in the last 24 hours alone. That means hundreds of millions in new positions have been opened in just a single day. Binance and Bybit are leading the charge, controlling over half of that total between them, with OKX and Hyperliquid not too far behind. Look at how the open interest chart is beginning to climb. And what's interesting is that the surge in open interest is happening while prices have been climbing. That tells us traders are not just closing shorts, they're adding fresh long positions. In other words, new money is actively flowing into meme plays. Historically, when you see open interest rise alongside price action, it can create the perfect setup for explosive moves because there's more fuel in the system. Of course, this can cut both ways. If momentum holds, we could see a sharp rally across top meme coins. But if Bitcoin takes a sudden dive, all that leverage could unwind fast, triggering a liquidation domino effect. That's why after going over my strategy for positioning in the sector, I'm also going to cover some of my exit strategies so we're not going in blind. But either way, the spike in open interest means volatility is coming, and for the meme space, that's what traders are looking for. So what's my plan? First, I'm not just going to be looking for random meme coins that I find funny and going all in. That would be reckless. My first strategy is to look into certain narratives or blockchains that are performing well and check out the top meme coins in those ecosystems. For example, there's Brett on the base chain. The interesting thing about this one is that it's the largest meme coin on the base chain by market cap, and it's taken on the role as the de facto base mascot. Considering how big Coinbase is, you can be sure that they're going to funnel up app users into the base chain when retail fully enters. And of course, those retail investors might be interested in buying the largest meme coin available, which would be Brett. It's a simple thesis, but it makes sense, especially with how Coinbase rose to the top of the iOS charts during the last bull run. Looking at the charts, we're seeing more stability recently after a long downtrend. The growth on the monthly time frame might suggest new buying interest, and price action is holding above short-term support levels, which could set up a base for a rebound. And another thing that Brett benefits from is being part of Matt Fury's Boys Club comic, which is also where the much larger meme coin Pepe came from. Pepe is the largest meme coin that has not yet gone through a full bull run, sitting in third place behind Doge and Shiba. And that's why a lot of people are betting on this coin. Looking at the charts, Pepe has been holding above the $4 billion market cap range after recovering from its mid-year pullback, showing strong resilience compared to many other meme coins. The recent higher low on the yearly chart shows accumulation is taking place, setting the stage for a potential breakout if volume continues to build. Of course, this all depends on overall liquidity in crypto as well as other economic catalysts. But aside from memes with cultural potential, there's also some memes tied to serious utility. And that's where I want to talk about Bonk. So this one is no longer just a niche Solana meme. It has grown into one of the largest Solana meme coins by market cap, next to Pudgy Penguins. The real catalyst for Bonk was the launch of its own meme coin launchpad, Let's Bonk. This platform was able to beat Pump.Fun in both weekly and monthly revenue, although Pump.Fun now seems to have taken back the crown for weekly stats. Regardless, it is impressive that Let's Bonk was able to capture a huge portion of Solana's launchpad market share so quickly. And Bonk benefits from this directly since it sits at the center of the ecosystem. According to their website, 50% of Let's Bonk fee revenue is used to purchase Bonk tokens from the open market and burn them, reducing the total supply, and another 15% goes towards staking Bonk as well. So aside from having staking features and a pump fund competitor platform, Bonk also has its own VC-style launchpad and sports betting site, which shows that the dev team clearly knows what they're doing. Now, let's say we fast forward to phase 4 of altcoin season, and your barber is asking you how to set up your Solflare wallet. You might take it as a sign that we're nearing the top, and that is where a solid exit strategy comes into play. So here's some options. The first is dollar cost averaging out. This is where you sell portions of your holdings gradually over time or at set percentage gains instead of selling everything at once. This helps with emotional decision making, avoids panic selling on small dips, and prevents the impossible goal of timing the exact market top. Let's say I plan on selling all of my Doge. With DCA, one option could be to set up multiple sell orders at 10% every week until I'm fully out. That way, as the price fluctuates, I hit a range of price points and get a more reliable average exit price. The second option is laddering out, which uses preset price targets to sell portions of your holdings at different levels. For example, I could buy Pepe and sell half of my position at a 100% gain, then another half at the next 100% gain, and so on. The third option is pulling your initial, also known as playing with house money. After your position doubles in value, you sell an amount equal to your original investment, securing your capital while leaving the remaining profits to ride. This approach reduces stress and frees up capital for new opportunities while still giving you upside exposure if the asset continues to run. I found this strategy works best when dealing with high-risk plays since they're very volatile and unpredictable. So those are a few strategies, but let's wrap this up. We know that meme coins are starting to pick up traction. There are coins like Bread dominating the base ecosystem. Bonk taking over the token launchpad space, and Pepe still being the largest meme coin that has not gone through a bull run yet. Plus, with Solana activity, Google Trends, and open interest all starting to climb, it looks like the signals are aligning. And that's why I'm starting to pay more attention to the meme coin space as of now. So which memes are you watching closely right now? Brett, Bonk, or Pepe? Or is there another meme coin on your radar that you think could surprise everyone? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. And that's it for today. Remember, just because I'm talking about a project doesn't mean you should blindly invest in it. None of this is financial advice. Always do your own research and understand the risk before making any investment decisions. If you're interested in projects that I'm watching closely, come and join me in the FireHustle VIP Discord. The link is in the description below. And if you want more videos like this, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.